Welcome back to Guru Chronicles. Soul Guru here, getting ready to take you on the journey. So, thank you for coming back. I hope you are enjoying the videos. Please make sure that you subscribe. Excuse my voice. Trying to be attacked by a little cold, doing what I need to do on my end, but I will not let that stop me from communicating with you and helping you on your journey to become a better guru for yourself and your self-development. Last video, I apologize for the sounding. I hope this sounds a lot better. You know how it is when you're dealing with technology, sometimes you have technical difficulties. But thank you for tuning in to Guru Chronicles. On this particular chronicle, we are discussing again a topic addressing men. And what I want to talk today about is the difference between boys and men, or is there a difference? So I want to jump right in. For boys, a lot of times how things tend to work is through an award system. Same thing for men, an award system. This reward system consists of the following: verbal praise. Boys like verbal praise and accolades, and so do men. Boys like attention, and so do men. Boys like toys, and so do men. Boys like to play, and so do men. Boys like to escape and access their imagination, and so do men, but it comes through the form of fantasy, more so. And so those are just a few things that came to me. And as we're looking at this, verbal praise, when men are born and mothers are nurturing them, and fathers tend to do it as well, but it's more so the women, the aunties, the female cousins, the sister-in-laws and the mothers. That's my boy, that's my little man, look at my little man. Those are verbal praises that a young man, number one, it's created in us to want that, okay? And that's not a bad thing, but an imbalance can be an abomination, and imbalance can be a bad thing. So as much praise as young men should get, it should also be offset with levels of discipline and correction as well, okay? But men live for that. Boys, we live for verbal praise. We live for attention. We do enjoy attention. We like attention. Now for myself, I've learned I like attention. Then when I get it, I get shy. So it overwhelms me at times, but I don't know any person who doesn't like it. But I know for men, sometimes women tend to say, men are so complicated. Men are so, I don't understand. We're very simple. We're very simple. We like verbal praise. We like attention. We like to play with toys. When you're a boy, you play with the toys that you can manipulate. When you get older and you have more influence financially, you play with bigger toys. Cars, not RVs, but the little four-wheel drivers, the motorcycle street bikes you see in the streets, technology, toys, Xbox, PS4s, sound equipment, speakers. Those are toys. Those are all things men enjoy playing with. And then we talk about escape. Little boys, my son, my youngest son, Ivan, he loves to, sometimes when he goes off in his world, he reminds me of me. You can just go away and just enter a realm of just imagination and creativity. There are no limits, there are no boundaries. And so these things are not necessarily bad, they actually are natural. But I think in a lot of households, they are imbalanced, and particularly in single family households, particularly with females raising boys, there is a mishap and a somewhat failing of balancing out, allowing these particular traits and types of areas to be developed in young men. When it comes to praise, when it comes to attention, when it comes to playing with toys, there's a time to play with toys and there's a time for a young man to learn how to do chores. Okay? So we have to understand this, fellas. We gotta understand. So when we grow up to be men, there's a time to play with the toy, there's a time to wash the car, there's a time to tend to your responsibility, make sure your wife is pleased, making sure you're serving her, make sure you're serving your kids, making sure your house is in order, not just financially, not just because of your working, but should she be the only one to wash, clean, dust, vacuum, do the clothes? That's what I'm saying. So when I was young, our mother made sure we were washing our clothes by the time we were 10. We were folding our clothes between 10 and 12. You know, and it got to a point, she had 5 boys. My mom was like, hey, I ain't gonna do all this myself, you know? And so even though her and my dad had roles and certain things were established, there were some areas I know she would have liked to have had some support on. And so with my family, guys, this is what I'm challenging you with. However things may not have went right with you, or you may not have liked, or your mom or your dad may have shared some things that they could have seen different in their covenant, make the decision to grow in that area as a man and be different. Don't be a boy about it. See, boys pout when things don't go their way. Boys run to their room and slam the door. And sometimes as men, we'll leave the room, we'll go to our room and slam the door. Or we go to our cave and we slam the door. And don't nobody come in that cave. It's like a grizzly bear, hibernating, boy. You come in there, anybody's liable. Even the wife can get tore up, or that significant other. We need time to come out of that. But when we come out, guys, we have to step up and we have to mature. We can't respond as a boy and talk like a boy when we are the age of men. But I know many men that are at the age of men but have the mentality and character of boys. So which one are you? Are you an old boy? Or are you a young man? And are you walking in those things of manhood? Responsibility, accepting responsibility, admitting when you are at fault, willingly, not because you're being told, asking for forgiveness. You have to tell boys to ask for forgiveness. You have to tell boys to apologize. The difference between a man and a boy is a man comes into a level of self. Gotta grab my notes here. See, when you have a father in the house, the father's able to explain, and he's supposed to. His job is to help you through the phase of boyhood into manhood. He helps guide you in the areas of your immaturity. And he helps you develop what you need to as a young man so that you can become the man that takes care of his house, that can, number one, take care of himself, that can take care of his home, and that can take care of those that he's responsible for. When a man abandons that, you forfeit your responsibility. You take that away from the young man and the young lady in your house. And then you begin to warp. I talk about this in my book. I have a book coming out called Daddy's Shoes. And what happens is, as a man, when you abandon your family, when you abandon your child, because you're behaving like a boy, not a man. When you abandon your child, you are actually removing the training ground and the foundation for them to walk in the shoes that you were supposed to show them how to walk in. And so we have a society now of grown boys trying to walk as men in shoes that they can't fit. This book will be coming out soon. I'll be telling you more about it. But a lot of my vlogs and my videos that I've put out regarding what I'm just doing and talking about as Guru Chronicles and as Soul Guru stems out of that book, Daddy's Shoes. And so I really want you to understand that, guys. We have to man up. We have to be accountable. And you have to clean your slate. So what happens is, with this reward system, back to the situation, men function off of a reward system. There's a system that we learn, and it's basically taught at home. It's taught at home. And so I feel like this is a little dark. Okay. Hope that's enough light. So I want to get into this real quick. I'm sorry if the video is running a little bit long. I try to keep my videos to about 10 minutes. So. But I want to really get into this. And if you, ladies, if you're watching this, pass this on to the men you know. Pass this on to your sons. Let's stop getting fat off information and help transform the nation by passing information on. I'm sorry I'm not tap dancing. I'm sorry I'm not doing some dance for some pistachio nuts like the Asian guy who blew up and got all these. We love the funny stuff, but how come we don't want to enjoy the stuff that can truly help transform our lives? Okay, so I'm feeding you milk right now, but I have some meat that I really want to give you. So here's a little basic thing right here: the award system of man. Men learn early on. I get cheered on by mama. I get cheered on by a woman. I get attention by the woman. If I do right, I get rewarded. If I do what I'm supposed to do, I get rewarded. What happens is, as we matriculate and we start growing, sometimes we don't experience that situation. And sometimes we stop getting the praise, or we experience something where we don't get the attention. And then we start looking at the system. And so then we say, whoa, the system's a little tainted. There's some offness with this system. Okay, and so then what happens is, when we see that the system is off, men develop and we move to a different realm of survival within the system. It becomes self-preservation, and it sets us in a mode of cheating and manipulating the system through control, through egocentric agendas. That's where men end up going. And that's normally when you're still staying in the state of a boy. You try to find ways to cheat the system. You try to not do things on the up and up as a guy. And so when we do that, that's when you meet, ladies, that's who you're running into. You're running into a lot of these type of men. Guys, those are the type of guys that we're becoming. Immature, what they call mama's boys. Okay, I'm a different mama's boy. Love my mother. Yes, shout out to Miss Bessie, Jane Briscoe. I love you. Thank you for all you've done. You continue to do. Thank you, Dad, John, hey Briscoe. But we talking about mothers and sons here. And my mom loved all her sons, all my brothers. But our mom made us work. She balanced it. She spoke into our lives. She told us who we were. She told us who we were going to be and what she felt we could be. But she left room for us to grow. She kept a standard. See, ladies, she had a standard on what a woman expects and taught us that. Taught us how to take care of ourselves, allowed us to learn how to cook. She definitely made sure we clean. But she set a standard for us, okay? But it was more so outside of the home, at school, is where my system broke. With some of my female teachers and some of the young ladies there. The rewards of accolades and praise didn't come. And when it did, it was slightly tainted. It wasn't pure like from my mother. And that perverted my perspective, which a lot of guys, we have a very perverted perspective of the relationship between men and women. And so it takes a father or a very strong, balanced woman. But normally, it naturally would take a father to engage and guide and can come pinpoint where that young man needs to improve, where he needs to be strengthened, and be pointed in the right direction, okay? And so when that happens, that man, that boy starts to mature, and he comes to a level of self-awareness. Or, as it is written, he comes to himself. And when you do, you move from self-preservation to selfless preservation. That's what I call it. And that's when that allows, selfless preservation allows a man not to misuse his authority. See, when you're a boy, you misuse your authority that you were created in. You demand the attention, you demand the rewards, you start looking for it. And it's only for you. But as you mature and you come to yourself as a man, you start realizing it's more important for everyone else. So you as the man start building up other people. You start serving who's around you versus want to be served yourself. You start caring more about things around you than what's going on with you. And as you mature, you should be able to balance that as in taking care of yourself and others around you. A boy doesn't balance that well. A boy normally just wants what's good for them. And so we have to train our sons in this way. We have to lead them in this way. It is essential. It is paramount. It is, right now, we're in dire straits in this country because for my daughters, I have 3 daughters. There are a lot of young men out here that just are not ready. They're not even qualified to be friends with them. And that's not that my daughters are high and mighty, but it's what my wife and I have poured into them. So many young men aren't getting poured into. And so they don't see what's attractive about my daughters. You see? But they have qualities that these young men don't even know about that they really should be looking for. They're looking for the other qualities that are of the world. Being physical, just sexual, whether or not they're hot or not versus the inner attractiveness. And so I just ran a little bit and I'm okay with that because guys, we are the source of provision, of providing for ourselves, our families, those around us, our children, and our community, to our neighbors. Guys, I am pleading with you to come to yourself. If you feel what I'm saying and you connect with this video, pass it to someone that you feel could benefit from this. Subscribe and stay connected. Share this. Give me feedback and let me know what you think. Because in this life, you know we get tested. There are trials and tribulations, and you know for sure we always will go through. But you make sure you subscribe and you check in weekly with your soul guru. I'm out.